in Anna University and BE degree in Madras University. So she has received first class with distinction in both UG and PG. So she has 20 years of teaching experience in computer science and information technology. She served many colleges such as Savita Engineering College, Jerusalem College of Engineering, GKM Engineering College, and currently working as an associate professor in the Department of CSC in SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. So, she has published many papers in IoT, cloud computing, image processing domain, and published research papers are indexed in Annexure 1, Anna University, Web Hub Science, and Scopus indexed citation. She has published 2 book chapters in Intech Publishers, which are indexed in the Web of Science and IGI Global Publishers, and published book chapter has received more than 1,000 downloaded by researchers worldwide. She has received many awards like Best Chapter Citation Award and Best Paper Award, Best Academic Performed Award, Best Teacher Award. She is a recognized supervisor of Anna University and SRM University, Chennai, and currently 6 research scholars are pursuing PhD under her guidance. She is a reviewer of Scopus Index Elsewhere Journal. Journal Patents on Computer Science. She has received as a resource person in several programs, served as a resource person in several programs, and organized and attended many workshops, seminars, guest lectures from industries. So once again, I welcome you, ma'am. So we are eagerly waiting to hear your presentation. So, thank you, ma'am. You can proceed, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon to all.
Not shared, ma'am.
One second. Yes.
Award.
Can you able to see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Presentation is visible, ma'am.
Okay. Automation in IoT. First of all, I think you may aware of IoT. So what is IoT? So the IoT, we can go for the content presentation. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So the content of today's presentation. So the title of the presentation is Industrial Automation in IoT. So the content for the presentation. So today we have some ideas about, we can get an idea about what is the objective of studying about the IoT, and what is the basic definition, why to study IoT, and what is the history, and why to use IoT, and then what is industrial automation, and how IoT works, and what is the working model basically, and what are the technologies which is behind the IoT, and what are the basic applications, and what are the industrial application, and then completed projects. We are actually, I am in the position of doing the IoT project. So last 5 years we are working in IoT projects. So we have completed some projects. We'll show you what is the output of the implemented projects. Okay, so this is the today's content about the presentation. We can go for the session. The objective. So what is the objective of this presentation? So which is the concept of IoT to make the automating modern industries. So the concept of IoT to make an efficient industrial automation system or a machine over the internet that's automating the modern industries, right? So the Internet of Things, which is making an efficient industrial automation system, so which is allowing us to use the efficiently control industrial automation and then modern industries. So we have a lot of application. We have a data exchange and then automation. We have a lot of tools. We should know how we can utilize and then how to implement all these things. So how we can relate with the academic as well as the industry. Okay, how to do the how to do the projects in the industrial based. Okay, so how to interact with the modern industries. So these are the basic ideas. Okay, so that is why we are studying about the IoT, so which is making us to efficient industrial automation system and then allows us to efficiently control the industrial application and then automating the modern industries. So this is the basic motto for studying the IoT. The Internet of Things is the network of physical objects or things which enable with the electronics, software, sensor, and the network connectivity. So which enable these objects to collect and exchange the data, right? So here actually what IoT allow us to do. So here which is allow us to do the objects to be sensed and controlled remotely across the existing network infrastructure for creating the opportunities for more direct integration between the physical world and the computer-based systems, and resulting in the improvised efficiency and accuracy and the economic benefit. Okay, so here the Internet of Things is the network of physical objects or things embedded with the electronics and the software or a sensor and the network connectivity, so which enables these objects to collect and exchange the data. So this is very very important. So actually which is describing the embedded with the electronics and the software which enables this object to collect and exchange data. Okay, so then things, in the things IoT represents that things can refer to a wide variety of devices such as heart monitoring implants and then biochip transporters on farm animals and electric comms in coastal waters and automobiles with the built-in sensor and a DNA analysis devices for environmental or food or monitoring called field operation devices, so that assist in a search and various kind of operations, right? So these devices collect useful data with the help of various existing technologies and then automatically flow the data between the other devices. So here the very important thing is the IoT, which is a network or physical objects or things embedded with the electronics such as software, sensor, network connectivity. Okay, and then which is to collect and exchange the data. So which is allow us to do the sensed and control remotely across the existing network infrastructure. So this is about the definition of IoT. And then lot of applications. So the phone, for example, the iPhone or the normal phone, it could be a watch, even your car or such anything that can be connected via the Internet of Things. See the diagram, the second diagram which represents the world. So here a wider and a great reach with respect to these devices again and the aim of various kind of applications. So here the Internet of Things in an automation industry is proving to be a game changer. Actually, IoT is a game changer for the automation companies. So the industrial automation companies that use the IoT solution can reap new benefits. So the Internet of Things helps to create the new ideas or technologies to solve problem or enhance operation and increase productivity, mainly used for productivity. Then the IoT can be explained as the connection of initially the identifiable electronic devices using the internet data plumbing, including the internet protocol and the cloud computing and the web services. And the Internet of Things impact on the industrial automation is very high, and it makes use to use the tablet computers and the smartphones and the visualized systems and the cloud storage of data and so on. Okay, so these are the various kind of wider and the great reach with respect to the different kind of devices, and then a different impact of the Internet of Things on industrial automations are, we have a Internet of Things product and then Internet of Things devices, then IoT gateway devices, and industrial IoT development kits. So there is a huge impact on the Internet of Things on industrial automation. So the IoT based solutions which is increasing the value to the industrial equipments. So which is used to IoT based components which is usually increasing the value of the society, value of the product. Okay, so this is the basic of IoT. So next, do you have any idea about what is IoT? So what is the Internet of Things product and IoT gateway devices? Do you have any idea about this? Any idea about it? What is Internet of Things product and Internet of Things devices and IO gateway devices? So what are the industrial IoT development kits? So these are the different kind of scenarios used for IoT. Do you have any idea? Plays a vital role in the industrial automation as it is stating to the explore and implement IoT concepts and technology. So here IoT helps to streamline and collapse and create system architecture that are effective, affordable, and responsive. Okay, and then the major aim to create the communications and interaction from the manufacturing field, input or output including the analyzer, and then the robotics, and then to enhance the flexibility and the increased manufacturing. So using this IoT, the industrial automation has leveraged commercial technology, the major application, and these examples includes PLCs, actually the public limited companies, and displacing the bank of relay, the Internet of products. When you go for the Internet of products, this is next to the big technology revolution, and it is simply internet connected devices that are capable to gather data. So the many Internet of Things products fit smoothly into the pattern of daily life and enable the communication in various ways, and then can be used in a different verticals. So business and the consumer lives can be more seamless than ever. So this is basically about the Internet of Things of products. We can use a different kind of products, and then Internet of Things devices. So the Internet of Things devices can be used in various field and may vary from the home automation and the functionality of your house. So the devices such as the smoke detectors, and then thermostat, and a smart music system, and a smart light bulbs coming under this category. So on the other hand, IoT devices are also present in the interaction with the human body. So where we can talk about the fitness tracker and some body scales or even baby monitors. So these are the different kind of Internet things devices are available in the market. And then when you go for the IoT gateway devices, the another constraint used for a IoT gateway devices. So the IoT gateway devices act as a communication bridge between the IoT sensor and the network and the cloud server. So this is basically the tool which is mainly used for act as a communication bridge between the IoT sensor and the network and the cloud server. So these devices are emerging as a key elements in the bridge next generation devices to the Internet of Things. So they help to integrate protocols for a networking and help manage storage and edge analytics on the data and facilitate data flow securely between the edge devices and the cloud. So this is about the IoT gateway devices. So this is also one of the major constraints used in IoT. The industrial IoT development kits. So it's a kit usually provide an entire high quality design environment for engineers and also architect to drastically accelerate the development and delivery of IoT application. So using all these kits, they any development or industrial environment can be quickly turned into a production-ready unit. So these IoT development kit targets a variety of IoT application requirement by providing a range of different hardware platform and spanning from a very compact low power based on the design of gateways. So these are the different kind of constraints used for a IoT, Internet of Things and Internet of Product and Internet of Things devices, and then a IoT gateway devices. So which can be used for a different kind of next gen devices to the IoT. This helps integrate the protocol for a networking and help manage storage and edge analysis on the data. Okay, so these can be facilitate the data flow securely between the edge devices and the cloud. Okay, so these are the major constraints used in the IoT. And then next one, the history of IoT. The history of IoT. So the concept of yes, am I boring? So before going to the application, we should know the basic and the fundamentals of IoT. Why we are using? What is the fundamental? Then only we can go for the application. Can you hear me? Yes, Ramya madam, can you hear me? Yes, Devanagi ma'am. There is no response from the
Ma'am,
there is no response from the
ma'am,
audience, right? So that
ma'am,
is why I'm
ma'am, yes, ma'am, is it, ma'am, but PPT is not sharing, ma'am.
not sharing, ma'am.
No, yes, ma'am, it's,
Ma'am, can you able to view the slides?
yes, ma'am, history of IoT.
History of
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. So next, the history of IoT. So the concept of Internet of Things first became the popular in 1919. So through the Auto ID Center and MIT and the related market analysis publications. So here the radio frequency identification (RFID). You may aware of RFID. So what is RFID? So the radio frequency identification was seen as a prerequisite for IoT. The prerequisite for IoT is an RFID. Radio radio frequency identification was seen as a prerequisite for IoT at that point. So if all objects and the people in daily life were equipped with identifiers and the computers and the cloud managed and inventory thing. Okay. So besides using the RFID, the tagging of things may be achieved through the such technologies as near field communication and barcodes and the QR codes and Bluetooth and the digital watermarking. Okay, so the basic behind the IoT is RFID. The RFID represents radio frequency identification, which is was seen as a prerequisite for the IoT at that point. So here we are using it now daily life, which is equipped with the identifier and cloud manage and inventory them. So besides using the RFID, the tagging of things may be achieved through the technologies like communication and the barcodes and the QR codes and Bluetooth and the digital watermarking. Okay. The diagram represents that it is a history of various estimation which is showing the IoT will be anywhere and everywhere. So here, the anywhere and everywhere, the Gartner estimates the 8.4 bytes connected things will be used in the worldwide in 2017. So the diagram which is explaining about the estimation of 8.4 bytes connected things will be using in the worldwide in 2017 up to the 31% from 2016. and will reach 20.8 billion by 2020. So here Internet of Things sensors and devices are expected to exceed mobile phones as the largest category of connected devices in 2018 and growing at a 23% compound annual growth rate from 2015 to 2021. And Ericsson predict that there will be a total of approximately 28 billion connected devices worldwide to 2030. So this is the of IoT. So actually in 2070, so which is under 8.4 billion connected things, okay, and will reach as 20.8 billion by 2020. So nowadays, so in a recent days, Ericsson provides the prediction analysis, so which will be a total of approximately 28 billion connected devices worldwide by 2021. So which is nearly 16 related to IoT. Okay, so this is the why we are using IoT, why we are everywhere and anywhere we are using IoT devices, and why using the IoT. So here, for purpose of using the IoT is to reduce the maintenance cost first. So why we are doing the project? What is the usage of doing our projects or a product? Why we are developing the model? Why we are developing the product? Why we are developing the projects? So the main reason is three things: to reducing the cost, and to reducing the size, and reducing the amount, right? So reducing the cost, space, and then time. So these are the main things to do the projects. So here we are using the IoT to reduce the maintenance cost and to optimize the critical monitoring system. And then the maintenance of controlling the system or industrial devices is crucial. So these are the main reason for using the IoT. And then what are the characteristic of IoT? So the characteristic are, so which is satisfies all the constraints, which can able to do the internet connectivity and heterogeneity and then interoperability and then sensing and actuation, which will do all the constraints. We can able to satisfy all the constraints. Okay, so that is why we are using the IoT. So these are the basic characteristic of IoT. And then what is automation in IoT? How it is useful in industrial automation? So what is automation? So till now we have discussed about IoT. So what is the basic of IoT? And then the next definition is what is automation in IoT? How it is useful in industrial automation? So actually the Internet of Things continues to gain the traction in all kinds of industries and applications. So the industrial automation refers to the use of various control devices like computers and robots and information technologies for handling and controlling different processes and machines in an industry. So industrial automation refers to use the different kinds for handling and controlling different processes and machines in an industry. So here the Internet of Things plays a vital role in the industrial automation as it is starting to explore and implement IoT concepts and technology. So IoT helps to streamline and collapse and create system architecture that are effective, affordable, and responsive. So the major aim is to create frictionless communication and interaction from the manufacturing input and output, including the analyzer and actuators and robotics, to enhance the flexibility and increase the manufacturing. So the major aim to create the frictionless communication is the interaction from manufacturing and the input or output, including the analyzers and then actuators and robotics, to enhance the flexibility and increase the manufacturing. Okay. And then using IoT, the industrial automation has leveraged commercial technologies in the major application, and these examples includes the PLCs, that is public limited companies, and displacing the bank of relays. Okay, so that is why we are IoT is used in the industrial automation. And then What is automation in the IoT? Why we are using in the industrial? So here the Internet of Things is about to transform the next decade, and then the primary drive from the automation IoT is to significantly reduce operating expenditure, which is mainly used for reducing the expenditures. And then when automation devices and the sensors and actuators become the Internet of enabled devices. So actually the IoT is an automation industry is proving to be the game changer for the automation companies. And then the industrial automation companies that uses the IoT solution can reap new benefits. So the Internet of Things helps to create a new technologies to solve the problem and to enhance the operation and increase the productivity. So which is mainly used for the increasing the productivity. Also, the IoT can be explained as the connection of and the web services. So the Internet of Things impact on the industrial automation is very high, and it makes use the tablets, computers, and the smartphone and visualize the system. Okay. And then what is industrial? Industrial automation to control the industrial machinery and the processes. And then typically IT solutions. What are the industrial Internet of Things solutions include? So here we have a different kind of solutions including the Internet of Things. So the different kind of solutions are the industrial things. The first one, industrial things, and the connectivity, and then data, a cloud platform, and analytics dashboard, and intelligence and action. So here the industrial things, the internet enabled devices like PLCs, and then the human machine interfaces, and then IP cameras and the sensors. So the internet enabled devices like a PLC, that is public limited company, and then human machine interfaces and the cameras are using the industrial things. And the connectivity which in essence the connecting things to the internet via the 4G or a cellular or a Wi-Fi or a Ethernet connection. And then data, the data represents data and how it is collected, how it is stored, and how it is processed using the edge devices, and how it is central to the value of industrial Internet of Things. And then a cloud platform. The next one is known as the cloud platform. So the key to the industrial IoT is a centralized and secure cloud platform for hosting the data and enabling the remote devices and the services. And then the next one is known as the analytics and the dashboard. So the analytics and the dashboard for analyzing data and the monitoring machines. And then the next one is intelligence and action. So the collected data must be analyzed by either humans or a smart function to send and action represents the collected data must be analyzed by either humans or a smart function, okay, or triggers to any other system. So these are the typically industrial IoT solution. So different kind of solution. And then what is the Internet of Things product? Next, the Internet of Things products. So which indicates that the Internet of Things is the next big technology revolution, and it is simply internet connected devices that are capable of storing the data and gathering the data and analyzing the data and justifying the data. So here the Internet of Things is the next big technology revolution, and it is simply internet connected devices that are capable. And then many Internet of Things products fit smoothly into the patterns of daily life by simplifying the routine task. And then IoT products come in the various way, and they can be used in different verticals. And then we can use IoT product business and the consumer life can be used more seamless than ever. Okay, so these are the different kind of IoT products used in a day by day life. And then in Internet of Things devices. So here the Internet of Things devices can be used in a various field, and they may vary from home automation and functionally of your house. So the devices such as home detectors, and then the thermostats and the start music system, and then the smart home and the smart lighting system, and then inventory management system and the smart light bulbs coming under this category. So on the another hand, the IoT devices are also present in the interaction with the human body, where we can talk about the fitness tracker and the smart body girls are even in a different kind of monitors. And then the gateway devices. So the gateway devices are the IoT gateway devices act as a communication bridge between the IoT sensor and the network and the cloud server. So the IoT gateway devices are emerging as the key elements in the next generation devices to the IoT, and then which is able to helping among the integrate protocol for a networking, mainly the gateway devices. Why we are using the gateway devices? So the gateway devices are used to integrate the protocol for a networking and helping manage storage and edge analytics on the data and facilitate data flow securely between the edge devices and the cloud. So this is the reason for using the IoT gateway devices. And then what are the different types of industrial automation? So the different kinds of industrial automations are the computer aided processing plan, and then the computer supported design and manufacturing and the flexible machines. So we have a different kind of planning strategy, and the computer numerical control machine tools, and then the automated material handling systems like robots, and then automated storage and the retrieval systems, and then we have a computerized production and the scheduling control. So these are the different kind of industrial automation devices used for the day by day life. And then machinery automation. The next, the important thing is the machinery automation. So the machinery automation, which is involving the IoT, are as follows. That is the wireless network with the ideal connectivity, and then the cloud storage, and then operation center, and data processing, and inventive hardware, and improved sensors networks. So we have a different kind of machinery automation with the IoT RS. So the machinery automation are the IoT in the machinery automation can be related as a machinery leveraged with the embedded system, bringing the sensor and the input and output devices and the software combined, which is the robots managed through the internet networking. So, why the prediction is that IoT could connect among the 50 billion devices by 2020. So, the machinery automation and the machine to machine, M2M, machine to machine communication will improve sharply. Network with the ideal connectivity and the cloud storage and the operation center and data processing and the inventive hardware and the improved sensor network. So these are the machinery automation, and what are the different components are used? What are the different components are used for implementation? What are the technologies are used in the IoT devices? So here the hardware specification, which indicates the hardware specification, which consists of the Arduino UNO with the AT-MECA238, as well as the ESP8266 with the module, Wi-Fi module, and then the resistors, and then LEDs and a motor, and then a 12-volt adapter and a USB TTL converter and a printer cable and Arduino IDE and a cool term. So these are the different kind of components used in the hardware specification. And then the components are, these are the different components are used for the IoT to enabling for a particular application. And then working model. Yes, till now we have discussed about the introduction. What is IoT? What is the basic definition, and what is the basic applications we have used, and then what is the machine or automation, and then what are the industrial automation, the basic definition. So here we can see about what is the working model of the IoT. So in the N node, so the working model which consists of three important processes. So we have a N node, and then the processing node, and then connectivity, and then storage. Okay, so the first one is N node, and then the processing node, which is used to processing the data, and then the connectivity, which is used to connecting the user as well as the connection purpose, and then storage, which is mainly used for storage. IoT, or the industrial Internet of Things, usually refers to the interconnected sensor and monitoring, but more importantly, it allows for a data orchestration and a collection and exchange and analysis of different storage or a data sources. So this has the enormous potential for improvising the productivity and the efficiency. So the industrial IoT solutions are characterized by their low cost and fast implementation. So here we are referring to the interconnected sensor and then instruments and other devices and networked together to an industrial setting. So this connectivity allows for a remote access and monitoring, but more importantly, it allows for a data orchestration as well as the collection. So the exchange and analysis of different data sources. And then how it works. So basically, how the IoT works. So we have already I told you the RFID is the basis for Internet of Things. So the RFID to rectify and track the data or identify and track the data of the things. Yes, are you following?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. No
Okay.
problem, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So the how IoT works. So here RFID. So the first component RFID to identify and track the data of things. And then when you go for the sensor, so the sensor is used to collect and process the data to detect the changes in the physical status of the thing. And then the third one, the smart tech. So which is used to enhance the power of the network by devolving the processing capability to different part of the network. And then the nanotech. So the nanotech, which is used to make the smaller and the smaller things have the ability to connect and interact. Okay. So here the important thing is first the RFID, which is only used to identify and track the data of the things. Okay. And the sensor to collect and process the data to detect the changes in the physical status of the thing. And then the smart tech is used to enhance the power of the network by evolving the processing capability to different part of the networks. And then the nanotech, so to make the smaller and the smaller thing have the ability to connect and detail application. So these are the basic things for using the IoT processing. And then the sensor and actuators, see here, the sensor and actuators are used to enhance the power of the network by revolving the processing, and then which is used to ability to connect and interact with the various kind of operation. So in the sensors and actuators using the machine or vision and optical ambient light and acceleration, and then used for a leak or levels, and used for a force or load or torque, and then the position, presence or a proximity, okay, and the humidity or a moisture. So these are the various, the sensors and actuators are used to identify various kinds of application. So these are the some of the applications used based on the sensors and actuators. So here some of the applications based on the sensor are position. We can able to identify the position of the particular object, the position or presence or a proximity, and then motion or a velocity or a displacement. We can able to identify the motion or velocity or a displacement, and then we can able to identify the temperature or a humidity or a moisture, and then we can able to identify the acoustics, sound or a vibration, and then we can able to identify the chemical changes and then the gas limitation. What is the density of the particular gas or chemical changes, and then we can identify the flow of the data. We can able to identify the data flow and the data control, and then we can able to identify the force or a load or a torque, strain and the pressure in the given position, and the electric or magnetic circuits. So these are the different kind of applications used for sensors with the actuators. And then next one, IoT architecture. So this is a very important diagram. So this IoT diagram architecture, which is explaining the IoT components are interconnected devices over the network. See the diagram. So this diagram which is explaining about storing data and how the data is processing and how we are applying the ML, machine learning and artificial intelligence data, and then how we are emitting the data and how we are collecting the data and how the sensor are receiving from the storage data. So here the sensors are receiving the data, and then the processing data can send through the applying triggers in the case of issue of the failure, and then after that creating the actionable item to the sensor, and then from the machine learning and algorithms or artificial intelligence, then feeding back to analyze and results to improvise the efficiency which can be given to the sensor. So here the IoT components are interconnected devices over the network, so which are embedded with the sensor and the software and the smart apps, so that they can collect and exchange the data with the other or with the cloud or a data center. Okay, so here the data can be generated by IoT devices is large in a volume and random in the nature and needs to be analyzed using the big data analytics engine. So in order to extract the critical information or to understand the user behavioral patterns. Okay, so here the IoT architecture which is explaining about the IoT components are interconnected in the network, so which are embedded with the sensor and then software and a smart app, so that they can collect and exchange the data with the other or with the cloud data or a center. And then they can be generated by IoT devices is in a volume and random in the nature and needs to be analyzed using the big data analytics engine. So in order to extract the critical information or to understand the user behavior pattern. Okay, so this is the basic for the IoT architecture. And then the IoT architecture can apply for all the application. So here the integrated applications are, we have a smart grid and then green building, and then we can have a environmental monitoring. We can able to identify the smart transport like a fleet management system, and information processing. We can apply the IoT architecture in information processing like a data center. We can able to do the projects in a data center and then the search engine. We can able to apply for a smart decision we can apply in a image processing also in a decision making, and then information security and the data mining and the network construction. We can go for a network construction and then internet and then WLAN and sensing and identification like a GPS and a smart device and RFID sensor and a sensor. So these are the different kind of applications will be used based on the IoT architecture. So based on the IoT architecture, we can develop lot of applications, lot of projects. So these are the some of the areas. And then what are the sensors are available in the market? So some of the sensors are listed over here for your reference. So here sensors available in the market. The various sensors are 7-color flash, and then IR emission, linear Hall, and then photoresistor, SMD RGB, and then these are the different kind of sensors are available in the market. So these are used to increasing the various range, various kind of sensors. So the sensors are used to produce the different kinds, different ranges. Okay, based on the sensor only we can able to vary our project. And then implementation and the technologies. So the next very important thing is, till now we have discussed about what is the general application which is used in the industries, and then implementation or a technology is used. So here the implementation or a technology is used. The main technologies are hardware and the communication technology and the protocols for IoT and the software and the cloud platform. So the main usage of IoT technologies are the hardware device and the communication technology and the protocols for IoT, software IDE and the cloud platform. So the RFID, actually this RFID allows microchips to transmit the identification information through the wireless communication. So based on the RFID, readers, the people can identify and track and monitor any objects attached with the RFID automatically. So based on the WSN, that is wireless sensor network, it mainly uses the interconnected intelligent sensors to sense and monitoring. Okay, so these are the implementation purpose. We are using the RFID and the WSN. So the IoT uses the main technologies are hardware device and the communication technology and the protocol for IoT, and then we can use a different kind of software for IDE and a cloud platform. So these are the technologies used for IoT. And then different kind of are like a 3G and a GPS, 2G or a GSM. Okay, and then the weightless, then WiMAX, and then Dash 7, and then EnoClean, and the PLC, and the QR codes, and then the printed electronics and the Ethernet, and the RFID, NFC, and ANT. So these are the technologies used for implementing the IoT ideas. Next. The next one is industrial applications. So what are the industrial applications are available for IoT projects? So here the industrial projects are so we can develop our idea based on a smart lighting system and a smart sleeping system and a smart AC and a smart weather station. So here a smart lighting system control your bulbs one at a time or all the. So just the right. So pick up the perfect tone to match the moment or recreate any. Okay. So here for when you are developing the smart light, use this concept, and then smart sleep system. Visualize your night from the palm of your hand. You can control your personalized backup and fall asleep programs. And not easy. Smart easy. So here arrows learns from your budget, location, schedule, and usage to automatically maintain the perfect temperature and maximize the savings for your home. The smart weather station. So the smart weather station. So the smart weather allow to use the indoor temperature and the relative humidity and the CO2 readings to live in a healthier home. So these are the sample industrial application. So we can able to develop, we can able to concentrate on this domain. Okay, so like smart lighting, like smart sleep, and then the smart weather identification and the smart AC. And applications on industrial IoT and industrial automation. So the essential, what are the essential components are needed for the industrial IoT? So the practical applications are IoT, industrial IoT and industrial automation. So here the connectivity. The connectivity is very, very important. VPN. So that is a virtual private network is very, very important. And then this is the edge gateway for connecting the devices. And then the second essential component is known as the insights and action, like a dashboard, alarms, and these are the cloud platform used for essential component for creating the industrial IoT devices or creating industrial application. And then the industrial things like a PLC. PLC is known as the public limited company. So here HMI, that is human machine interfaces, and then the robots like a sensor. So these are the essential components are needed for developing the projects based on the industrial IoT. So here the industrial IoT or the industrial Internet of Things. Internet of Things usually refer to the interconnected sensor and then the instrument and other devices networks connected in an industrial setting. So here this connectivity allows for a remote access and a monitoring, but for more importantly, it allows for a data orchestration and a collection. So exchange and analysis of different data sources. So this has the enormous potential for improvising the productivity and the efficiency. So the industrial IoT solutions are characterized by their low cost and fast implementation. Okay, so here this is mainly used for data orchestration and collection and exchange and analysis of the different kind of data sources. So this has the enormous potential for improvising the productivity and the efficiency. So the industrial IoT solutions are characterized by their low cost and implementation for a better implementation. efficient implementation. And then typically industrial IoT solutions include the industrial thing, connectivity and data and a cloud platform, analytical dashboard, intelligence and the action. So this one already we have discussed in the previous one. And then application. So the various applications are, we have a hospital and a home utilities and then education and then industry and the office. So these are the basic scenario. So here the first one, in solve the PLC, like a robot problems for customer from running out of the paper, and then publish new functionalities on the HMI screen for a customers abroad. Be replaced, and then analyze and optimize the industrial robotic action, and only empty the full garbage containers in the smart city, and manage the data from the multiple building for central monitoring in our business management system. So these are the current needs of the industrial IoT example for a daily life. So the first one, remotively solve PLC. Remotively solve PLC, that is public limited companies, are robot problems if a custom built machine is down. So the first one, see the diagram. So it happens in every factory. So the emergency button is pressed accidentally without anyone realizing it. So here it happens in every factory. So the emergency button is pressed accidentally without anyone realizing it, because there is no defect. So the engineers initially break their heads to locate and the cause of the problem. So in that meantime, the clock is running and valuable time is being wasted. So while a production has to be come to in a standstill, so if the HMI doesn't tell you the problem, a phone call to your managed builder is to the next local or a logical setup. So here with industrial remote access, the machine builder can access the machine from the office and then view the log files on the PLC or a robot and reset the machine if necessary. So it's only that take a few minutes to find the problem and to save a time consuming the service trip to factory sites. Okay, so here the first industry application is remotively solve the PLC or a robot problem if a custom built machine is down. So if it is down, we can easily identify. So with the industrial, using the industrial remote access, we can easily identify the problem and save the time and then reset the machine if necessary. So it only take a few minutes. So like this, we can able to identify.